Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Susie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
And welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. Thanks so much for being here, guys. We're so happy to be sitting with you today, with yous guys, wherever you're sitting at or standing even. Maybe in your car, maybe on your Peloton.
Yeah, I go on my Peloton.
Oh, yeah, we get on our Peloton. We ride that thing like Mr. Big. And then, maybe in bed, maybe when you're cleaning. We're so happy that you've chosen us to use us as a distraction. You're probably not even listening. But if you are listening, make sure you follow us on all of our socials at Share My Truth Pod, on Instagrams, on the TikToks, and on the YouTubes, even if you can watch us. Very exciting. And you can also go to our website, sharemytruth.com, where you can mail us, email, snail mail, voicemail. She's got it. And you can tell us about your truths, and we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hey, babes.
Hey, darling.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
You look fabulous. You look fabulous in magenta.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. It's like you're in pink or you're in red. This is a nice combination.
Oh, it's a nice in between.
It is. And I like it the both. I like it the both.
I like it the both.
I like it the both. But
You
it's
like
very
it the
nice.
magenta.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're happy with it.
You're like a delicious little
Cherry.
raspberry.
Oh, it's raspberry. It's
Just
raspberry.
gonna eat you up.
We have lots of raspberries in England.
What kind?
I don't know. There's fucking raspberries.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
on from raspberries. What are we talking about?
Raspberries. We are speaking to people today about dating, but not just any dating, not online dating, not, dating your fucking best friend's cousin from someone else. It's about dating in real life, meeting people in real life.
How'd you do it?
God, I wish I knew.
You seem to have lost the ability.
Yeah, and I think we've spoken about this specific topic a bit on other episodes that we've done, because it is fascinating, and it's obviously not the world that you're in right now.
No, definitely
But
not.
it is the world that I am in, and you've been in the world.
have.
Obviously,
I
somehow
was
you
in
met a
the world.
husband. Can't believe
know.
it.
How did I manage it?
One of a kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is unbelievable how we are in this world where people cannot meet regularly anymore. Like, and regular as in like in person, serendipitous meet cutes.
Rom-com.
Rom-com meet cutes. Like, what is happening?
It blows my mind.
And I've also I didn't even bring this up, but my male coworker brought this up, and he was like, do you he was like, how weird is it that guys don't approach anymore? And I'm like, the fact that you are the one who is realizing this too.
Yeah.
And he has a girlfriend, so it's not like he's doing this. And I was like, well, what about your friends? Like, what do you guys do? And he's like, no, my friends are actually pretty good at it. And I'm like, well, fucking needs to be seen to be believed. But like, I just cannot, because it doesn't happen anymore. And it sucks because the men who do approach suck. It's like, why is that? So it's hard to be like, I'm complaining because no one does it. And the ones who do it, suck.
Sock. It's just so interesting because we've done these last few episodes on single women. Why there's so fucking many of them.
God, it's too many.
And it's just going to get out of control in a few years. Single men, too many of them. So generically.
And they should all just meet each other somehow. Yeah.
And then single people. And why, if they're all these single people, are they not singling together?
Yes, single together, please.
And apparently they don't know how to meet.
Because it's exhausting, Mel. And I will tell you why.
Okay, go on then.
So everyone's on the apps. Everyone who's anybody is on the apps.
Yes.
Okay? Like,
this is a problem.
whatever the fuck it is, Hinge, Bumble, Raya, whatever you're doing, Tinder, I don't even know. I'm not on Tinder.
Does anybody on that anymore?
They must be.
Grindr
For our gay kids.
And I did have a question for you today. And
yes,
you couldn't
and I didn't
answer.
even know.
What's the lesbian app?
And the lesbians, if there's any listening to us, I hope we have some lesbian listeners. Let us know what the hell what's your favorite app? Because, Kate, I will also let you know. So right now I'm on Bumble.
Yeah.
We were talking about this today. I got kicked off of Hinge for no fucking reason. I know you told me. If there's anyone who works for Hinge on here.
What is going on?
Well, here's the thing. Like, they were like, hey, you've been reported or something, but you can, like, attest. What is it called? Unreport yourself.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then I was like, this is just so annoying. And I also just, like, don't care enough about Hinge. That it's already so exhausting. So I was like, okay, let me try Bumble, because I wasn't on Bumble when I was on Hinge. So I went on Bumble. So on Bumble, it's really annoying. You have to make the first move as a woman. Super fucking annoying. But I'm also on Bumble meeting women, not meeting them, but speaking with them.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd try it because I'm a bisexual lady. And so I was like, maybe I will meet a nice girl on here and we'll just hook up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that'll be kind of fun.
More success.
Yeah. You just never know. And also because it's nice because the two women can, like, I don't have to message first on the woman because she's also a woman.
Oh, wild. Okay.
But it's funny because you brought up lesbians. Where are you meeting on the apps? Women are very hard to approach in the way of being a lesbian, but also being a straight woman. I feel like we're just very intimidating, and we're like, do not talk to us. Like, if I want,
unpack that, because as you know, I do get a lot of lesbian women approaching me.
Yes, but I think those women are confident.
I don't give off lesbian energy.
No, but they love little women like you.
Oh, maybe it's the boobs.
They love No, it's the petiteness. They love a petite woman.
Okay, and I'm friendly. And I'm
very
fine.
funny, and you're very cute, Mel, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, darling.
Very
I mean, if
cute.
you're a lesbian, fine. It's really fine. It's just not going to, do anything for me. But, say whatever you like.
Not yet. Ladies, keep it coming.
Yeah. But maybe lesbians just meet. Or maybe you're saying they don't meet. It's even worse.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So, like, because it was a lot easier when I was, like, younger, like maybe like 20, 21, 22, 23. It's a lot easier to, like, kind of hook up with girls.
Different world, maybe. Even in the last 8 years, things have got also completely wild.
And just, like, I think younger women, like, I don't know what Gen Zs are doing nowadays.
There's also an experimentation.
Are they still hooking up?
Phage. No, experimentation.
Yeah.
So, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day who didn't believe me. I'm like, are you lived
fucked?
under a rock? I can think of many, many of my girlfriends that have experimented with women that are not lesbians, are not bisexual, but they've gone through some kind of phase, journey, whatever the fuck you want. But who gives a fuck? And so I think that's actually quite common for women, and it tends to happen. They call it something in the States. It's something to do with being in college. It's called something. I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. But that's the kind of age you're going to experiment. Anywhere from sort of like late teens to early 20s. If you are going to have a thing with a woman because you're kind of curious or whatever, that's the kind of age you're going to do it, I think. This is my assessment.
I haven't hooked up with a woman since I broke up. Like, since probably like 2015.
Jesus,
2016.
that's a long time.
Yes, it is. But, I had a boyfriend for that entire time, pretty much.
Right, fair
so
enough.
It wasn't really, like, hooking up time for the ladies. Now I'm like, maybe I'm interested in girls again. I've just, like, kind of just feeling it out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even know how to go about picking up a girl in a bar for myself.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
But I think that's fascinating.
It's crazy. Like, I think how I think I would do it as a woman trying to hook up with another woman, and maybe men can take this from me too, and maybe they agree that, because it is intimidating if you see a hot girl at the bar, and I feel like I have very high taste in women. Like, they have to be fucking hot for me to want to hook up with them. Sorry, but they do. Like, I think I would just, like, buy them a drink. And if they're with a friend, buy the two of them a drink. Like, I have to, I don't go to the bar alone. Like, I'd have to be, like, with another friend. And then, like.
Right. But I think, like, women, you're not going to have the same kind of barriers with men, because we're not scared of the same kind of things.
True.
But you have to know that the woman's into women. So how do you know that? They just give off a vibe.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You don't know, because I don't know if I give off a
No,
gay
not
vibe.
not really.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
those like lipstick lesbians that are
Yeah.
super fucking hot, right? And
Mm.
don't look gay at all, but like eat pussy.
Yes. Yes.
But like you wouldn't know that until you're like talking to them. And I also think a lot of women want to experiment and haven't experimented and
Yeah.
are open to that as
100%.
well. Even if they aren't, and like you're saying, even if they aren't bi or gay or whatever, maybe they are bi and they just don't know it or whatever it is, and they're okay with experimenting, or they just haven't been approached like that.
My theory about like experimenting, so I probably didn't finish my thing there, and this is exclusively my theory. I'd like to caveat,
Yes,
there's nothing psychological.
White British
I
woman.
haven't done any research. This is just my theory, is that you experiment. A lot of women experiment in that age group, say anywhere between sort of 17, 23, like university kind of age, where you might meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think a lot of women later in life, where they've been fucked over by men,
Yes.
and they sort of come to this thing. And that's why there are quite a lot of shows about it. Maybe this is exclusively a weird British thing, but we've had quite a lot of shows, like British dramas, about middle-aged women, like having been with had a whole straight life for fucking decades.
A whole straight life.
Yeah.
Had
and
kids.
Then, yeah. Like a whole, and then suddenly they turn up with their lesbian wife or friend or whatever.
So
whatever.
interesting.
And I actually do understand that,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that isn't a thing for men, but it is a thing for women, because women communicate. And if you've had a series of really shitty relationships
100%.
with men that don't communicate, again, I'm not bashing men, I'm just saying if that's happened, then you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with a woman because it's not as gross. And so they think, yeah, okay. So I think there are these two pillars. That's my theory about it. If you're not strictly a lesbian, so, but then you're like, when you're younger, you're meeting because you're at university, you're in the bars, you're in the parties, you're in an environment where you can meet somebody and different things happen. And then later in life, why does it happen? I have no idea. So what happens? What the fuck happens in between?
I don't know.
So we go back to the thing, we've gone off track again, is how the fuck do people meet in real life?
Well, so people are like,
They are confused.
you
by
go
this.
on, okay, we're in Toronto, and if anyone's in Toronto listening to this, you go on King Street. Okay, King Street is our main street here.
Yeah.
And I live on King Street. I'm not in the busy part, but I have to go to and from work on the street. And then also, like, if you're just going out to dinner, if you have to go somewhere, you're most likely gonna pass this busy spot where everyone's going out.
Yeah.
There are so many people still going out.
Right.
It's not like no one's mingling. Why the fuck are we not able to have a conversation with a stranger anymore? I think that is the root of the problem. Do you know what I mean? What is the root of this?
I think it is. I think it is the problem, is like, and I even hear it from like young people, like, because obviously, as I've said many times, I have two young daughters and, older teenagers in their 20s, and they don't seem to go out in the way I used to go out. And they know tons of people.
That's also it too.
And they don't go out in the way. I mean, I think there is definitely a cost issue, because like now you go out, and even like a university student's got to spend, I think a cheap night's $150 in a shitty town in Ontario. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a problem, right? You go out in Toronto for the night, and we're not going to actually have eaten anything. I mean, you've probably spent at a bare minimum $350.
Well, let's say every drink is $20.
Right. So you're in the hundreds. So you've got to get home.
Yes.
So maybe you're not going out as much.
True.
Right. So that's the thing. But I think you're right. Like, everyone still goes to bars. There are still lots of bars. And I know people don't go to nightclubs in the way they used to.
Well,
like in my
'cause do you know
generation, they used to
why?
go.
Do you know what's so fucked up? And because I have a few Gen Z friends because of my work that I do, like we're in the same company, and they don't know how to club like we did. Not that I'm in the same generation as you,
No.
but I used to fucking club.
Oh, I was a big clubber.
Club.
I love the club.
These
And
girls
that's
today,
obviously a very long time ago, but
these
I
girls
love
today
them.
do not wear heels.
Oh, yeah,
They do
that's-
not know how to dance on
No,
a
they don't.
fucking table.
They don't go
They don't
in
know
there.
fucking anything.
In
I
there.
swear to God, they don't know how to fucking Coyote Ugly this shit.
Oh, that's funny.
They don't know anything about this. So they just go. They're wearing their ugly little sneakers and their ugly little outfits. I'm sorry, Gen Z, but you
Yeah.
don't look great.
Yeah.
You know? And then
Yeah.
they put themselves in these places where they're like, I don't need a fucking man, or I don't want to fucking
Yeah.
talk to boys. And I understand that because boys are annoying. But then you find yourself where no one wants to fucking talk to you anyways. And so then we get into this horrible cycle of men being like, I don't want to approach. And girls are like, don't approach me. And then, do you know what I mean?
I think I do.
That also might be
because
me projecting, but
yeah, it could be. But I think when I went clubbing, you had very small top on, tight. Well, normally
very
like
small top,
tight
teeny tiny skirts,
trousers we call them,
boots,
because pants. But
or heels.
what we used to call them, fuck me boots.
Fuck me boots.
know,
I love it.
All very high heels, and obviously drunk an insane amount of vodka, and but you were out for fun.
Yeah.
But then it was a different era, and this I don't understand why people can't figure out how to do that, or even to meet in a normal way. Like, I don't know, take up a hobby.
No one wants to take up a hobby anymore.
And I know that that's like, but I said this to you several times. I know plenty of people who've met.
Yeah.
Because they have a shared interest.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that could be a bit geeky, but if you're geeky, great, meet a geeky person. So there must be cool hobbies. I don't know. I don't have any, but there must be. And, but this is the problem. I'm going to tell you what the problem is.
Tell me.
So, I looked at this, oh, for goodness sake. Like, what is the advice out there, right?
Yeah, because I feel like so many people have written about this stuff, because when we look it up even just like talk about this, to kind of research our episode, if you will, there is so much that people are actually saying about dating and life and how to meet someone in person, because it's not like there's no one on the street. There are people on the street. So can we just look up from our fucking phones?
In cafes, there are people in bars, there are people in pubs. But I think the problem is, so this is GQ magazine, and I'm concerned that this is a British publication, and the advice, quite frankly, is shite. So it's like dating experts, whatever the fuck that means, on how to actually meet people in real life. So I'm not going to read this because it really is absolutely absurd. But I'm going to give you
give us the
title.
Though.
Yeah. So go to the right places.
Oh.
I mean, thank you very much.
But does it say where the right places are?
There's no point in wanting to meet new people. But then only going to the same 3 places: your house, the local Aldi, which is a supermarket, and your mate's house. You need to get out and see some fresh locations, especially the sort that foster conversation.
Do you remember we had a comment on one of our last episodes that a guy was like, "Oh, you're discounting how much men don't go out."
Yeah, and I was like,
so like,
what?
Men don't go out.
But
anymore.
he was right.
He was being serious.
Yeah, on one of our videos, and there were actually a couple of
people are afraid to put themselves out there.
Yeah,
that's also the problem.
And I get it. I really do understand.
It's terrifying to get rejected.
I mean,
then you just got to fucking do it.
We're not men, but we do understand that being a man right now seems to be quite terrifying, because we've put them in this place where they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very complicated. We kind of want them to approach us, but don't approach us, and only approach us if you're extremely good looking, you make at least $1 million a year, and you drive a Maserati. Otherwise, don't bother. Which
don't fucking bother.
Really does somewhat narrow the field.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I have a lot of girlfriends who are hot as fuck, and they are not with the cutest men.
Yeah, you keep telling me this.
I promise.
And they're with ugly men.
I promise you.
And they're not
like,
rich.
Well, like, ugly to me is like, obviously just like, maybe the guys that I'm into are ugly to other people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But I think women, if you're just a nice person and you have a great sense of humor and you're light, do you know what I mean by that? Like,
100%.
There's so many guys out there who are so serious and so angry, and like, if you're just like a very light person and you're open to conversation and you're open to what someone else has to
100%.
say, it's so freeing for the other person you're talking to. So if you come over to another girl or whatever, and you come over and you're not so fucking serious and you're not trying to make a move or anything like that, you're just open to conversation, it's gonna be much better for you.
Than
if you're just like fucking like
100%.
you have a plan in mind, and then if she doesn't fucking pay attention to you like you're hoping, then you are such a dick about it. Like, it's just because those guys, all the guys that my friends are with, they're not bad guys. It's not like just because they're ugly or like that. I don't find them attractive. Like they're bad people. It's like they're really great guys, and my friends are with them for a reason.
Yeah.
They're just,
they're probably just nice.
They're just nice fucking guys who also hopefully can know how to fuck. But like,
Well, yeah, I'm sure
I
they
don't know.
do. I mean, I think it's just this taking yourself incredibly seriously.
Right.
Which is a generational
Women
thing.
do that too, though,
And
for sure.
Oh my God.
It's not just men,
100%.
obviously.
100%. It's like, just chill out.
Yeah.
I mean, I really actually don't care what you do professionally. Let's just have a conversation. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I've when you go to parties, and I can think of a party I went to recently, and it was like a sort of women's kind of get together thing, and like leaders and whatever. And I'd say of the however many people, most of them were just like, because they talked about themselves. I don't care that you are the head of blah, 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 blah. And the person I ended up talking to the most was just really funny, really like we chatted about life and traveling and children. Neither of us mentioned what we did. I didn't tell her. She didn't tell me. We didn't ask. I don't care. We just had a conversation. Because this isn't a job interview.
It's also just like a very good vibe.
A very good vibe. And just like...
You're not going to have a good vibe with everyone. So you have to accept that and move on from the people you don't vibe with.
And don't be intense. And I think that's an interesting thing. Like I've said this to you, like everyone seems to have so much rage now.
Yeah.
And I think it's from men, particularly young men and young women. Just so much rage. I don't know why. I mean, somebody needs to tell me.
Well, no, because like social media builds up the rage.
Shit and but life, I hate to break it to you all, has always been a little bit shit.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like it's suddenly got more shit. It's always been like very difficult to make your way in the world and expensive and all the rest of it. I just think it is a real problem that people can't go out on like a Friday night or a Saturday night, which is like the traditional, you work in wherever all week. You need to let your hair down and just let your hair down.
Let your hair down, ladies.
But people don't seem to do it.
No, they don't know how.
And I want to tell all the young people out there, if you don't do it, you can have a midlife crisis.
Yes.
Because
thank you.
I did not have and have not had a midlife crisis because I was a little
she was a crazy fucking bitch when she was younger.
And I liked to party. And I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I love clubbing. I love dancing. Probably drank too much, etc., etc. But I had fun.
No, but this is what's the problem. It's like people also, like, and I'm not judging anyone for your own decisions. Like, if this is what you think you want, whatever. But in my experience from looking at people and like seeing people and like I deal with a lot of people in my day to day and I always have.
Yeah. We're in sales
and also just a customer service. Like I'm very people facing. Like I end fucking, But like the people who get married way too young, and not like you also did get married a little not too young.
You.
But like, well, yeah, for me,
I was 28.
Like, right. That's actually not that
pretty
young.
ancient.
Well, but there's people who get married at like 25, 23, like.
Yeah.
And then they really haven't done anything because it's right out of college, right out of university, first job.
Yeah.
Do you know how much you change?
Yeah,
I mean, you do obviously, but like the amount of that you change as a person within from like 20 to 30 or even 20 to 25 to 30 to 35, like you are changing so much personally on your own. Politically, socially, economically, like you're coming into money, you're losing money. That person has to deal with that whole time. And like, that just ruins your sex life. It just ruins your fun time.
Yeah, look, I get it. It's really hard. I mean, for women, it's a particular thing because you got the whole thing. Do you want to have children? And I hate to like, burst everyone's bubble, but older women say that it's true. Like, don't leave it. If you do want to have kids, don't leave it. Yeah. Don't, because it's a problem. Because, you may not be able to get pregnant. Then just think, I'm almost 52, and I've got both my kids going to university. I mean, they're not still, using my money and everything else. No, I love my children. But I mean, I don't have little kids. I'm not driving little kids around. I have friends who have little kids and they're in their 50s. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is. But anyway, I mean, I'm getting off the thing, but I just think the problem is if you meet the person, you can't control when you meet the person.
Of course not.
And you might be 23, you might be 45. You just don't know, right? It's just kind of the obsessive behavior between those points. And I do get it that there gets a point where, particularly for women, less so for men, although I can vouch I should, blah, blah, I can't even speak, that maybe I should be corrected, because according to a lot of the comments we're getting on our YouTube videos, a lot of men are saying, and a lot of men are saying to us,
These are, I mean, I wouldn't trust with these men.
no, I know.
Can I be honest? Sorry, boys, but like,
but they can't, whatever, that they're not meeting people, they're not going out, that women have a lot easier time of it.
Sure.
I think, to be honest, I think that's a perception from both sides. Like, the women think the men have a better time, and the men think the women.
I don't
have
think
a
the
better
women.
time.
No,
and
women don't think men have a better time with it.
Well,
but I think women just have a lot more choice.
But why?
Because it's all about the dating apps, babe. Like, we have a lot more choice on the apps.
But you mean in your age group?
I think in general.
Well, the sooner when you hit a certain age, somebody has to convince me that women still have choice. I just don't get it.
Right, I see what you
They
mean.
just don't.
You grow out of choice.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it. You grow out of choice.
Right.
And no matter how, all these women can bang on about aging gracefully and having gray hair, it's bullshit. Like, men, there is an issue. Women age and they can look fantastic. But the vast proportion of men of their age do not want a woman of the same age when you hit a certain age. So probably in your 40s. And then you get to your 50s. I mean, forget it, 50-year-old men don't. I mean, I go to parties, 75-year-old men, 80-year-old men chat me up. It's never a problem. I always say to my husband, if you leave me, I'll be marrying a 80-year-old billionaire.
Fuck yeah.
But it's never men of my age. It's older men.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
Because I'm really young to them.
You are very young.
But it's hilarious. I mean, I find it very funny. But I mean, not men of my age, men who are a lot older. But that's because women hit a certain age and it becomes harder. So we're really talking about your age group, which at the end of the day is really what matters. Because if your fucking age group, so anybody from 25 to 35, which is key time when you should be meeting your mate. I mean, let's be frank. In that time, you should be meeting the person that you're going to marry and have your children with.
Or at least a person to have children with. Hopefully they're okay, and then you can divorce them later.
Right, exactly. And that obviously is a very high percentage. But you should be meeting somebody very key in your life, and we can argue about, whether that's old-fashioned or whatever. But let's be frank, that's your window, right?
Yeah.
And it is not happening.
No, it's not.
And you're like, it's not like there are less men. There are not less women. So what is going on? Well, we know what's going on. Society's changed. Women want different things. Blah, blah, blah. Men have got angry about that. Women have got angry and everyone's fucking angry. But of the people that...
It's a positive, Mel.
I know, but it is true, isn't it? But there are obviously lots and lots of people who want to date, because there wouldn't be a ginormous billion-dollar dating app industry if nobody wanted to date.
Exactly. But how they want to do it is they want to date from the comfort of their own fucking home.
Well, yeah, they
don't want to go out and meet people. They don't want to do it naturally. They want to meet someone. They want to know every single fucking thing little about them.
Yeah,
like we've talked about how that's a problem. And then they want to possibly go out with them, and where they're going to ghost them later. Like, that's the cycle of dating nowadays.
Yeah, they want to order their sushi, order their groceries, and order their man or woman all on the same day.
Exactly.
Which is absurd.
It's psychotic.
It is actually psychotic. And like, going back to
is there more advice that these fucking GQ gives us?
I mean, like, are they serious? Then the next thing is use your friends in a good way. I mean, I'm sorry. I think by the point you're on the apps, you've fucking exhausted the friends.
Well, you're just hoping. You're not like push. This weird. Like, you can't push your friends to fucking push another person on you.
You've gone to social events.
Of course.
You've met people. It's not happening. It's not happening. I mean, this is ridiculous. Your friends know if you're single. If they know of a nice person, they're going to mention it to you.
So, yeah.
And that's it.
I have wanted to for my own friends. And I've thought about this when I was in a relationship and I was like, I'm going to do this for my single friends because it'd be so fun. And now I'm going to do this for myself. But it's like you have a party where you like invite your single friends and every other single, like they have to bring another single friend with them.
Like speed dating.
You like kind of like speed dating. Everyone in the house is single except for like the people in relationships who want to come. They also have to bring a single friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you have a bunch of single fucking people there.
I think that's a very good idea.
I'm going to do it and I'm going to tell you about it.
Right.
But I was just like, because that's the only way to do this. People have to mingle in a house. You can't mingle in a bar. It's too fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a house party.
And it's too scary.
Yeah, you have to have a house party and like make you feel comfortable and cozy and like.
Well, I think in this day and age where we're all scared about what's going to happen and if somebody does something and somebody's going to sue somebody, then we've all seen all these fucking crime dramas, so we're worried we're going to end up in a blender or something.
I don't want to be in a blender.
You know, like, do you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
do.
we visualize all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And as I've told you many times, I've told you I'm going to say this story again and she's going to roll her eyeballs.
No, I love it.
It's like this thing about like, oh, you know, nothing ever happens. Nobody's ever gonna like break into my apartment. One of my friends, I told you, this man was hiding in her fucking cupboard.
Yes.
It was just beyond terrifying and it all worked out fine and he didn't hurt her and everything else. But this was very, very fucked up in the 90s. And, you know, so everyone's seen all these movies and all these endless Netflix shows. So we're all fucking terrified about that.
So because it's also like you catfishing. It's a real fucking thing.
Yes.
It happens all the time to people on dating apps.
It happens all the time. And I was telling you about, there seems to be a trend on TikTok. If somebody is sitting next to somebody, which is obviously also bullshit, where they see them like on an app and they're sort of messaging and they don't look like they're whatever. They're
probably like this person's like looking over their shoulder at this.
Yeah,
shit.
and you're like, how much are you actually seeing?
Right.
But I saw this thing on TikTok where this woman was on a plane. Oh, these things seem to happen on planes a lot. And she's like in her 20s, and the man next to her, is sort of my age or older, and he's pretending to the girl he's messaging that he's in his 20s.
Yikes.
And you're like, whether that's a bullshit thing or not, it still happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, it goes back to the kind of dick pic thing. So what do you think what is the point of this? Because if you're chatting on an app, surely the idea is eventually meet in person. And then you think they're going to go, oh, it's okay that you're 75 and you said you were 25. What do they think is going to happen?
I don't know.
Or do they get off on the thrill of it?
Okay,
they never meet.
Okay, so we talked about Bumble and how I'm like seeing now women too on there.
Yeah.
And the amount of women, ladies, the amount of women who are on Bumble and have like filtered ass pictures of them.
Yeah.
And you can tell when a picture is filtered.
No.
You can't get away from that.
No,
especially like you're using like a fucking Instagram filter. Like, who is swiping right on these people when you don't even look like a person in your photo? Like, what do you think they're going to do when you show up to the dinner and you look completely fucked?
Yeah.
Because you don't look like be like, what do you expect is going to happen? I feel like that's serious type of catfishing that is like
100%.
so still, like that's the most real. I feel like that's the most. I can't even imagine.
What is the point of it?
I don't know.
It's like, are you hoping that you're going to be so fabulous? They're just going to, oh, it's fine that you don't
look like.
It's like there's this whole sort of sales thing about you try and reel them in, and then you turn up. And then I have also seen videos where like that happens, and the girl turns up, and the guy's like, oh my God, and kind of is polite, and then goes, oh, I've got a call or whatever, and goes. Well, what do you expect? I mean, what do you expect? And I honestly
I would do the same thing. I would you'd crawl out the bathroom window. I would crawl out the bathroom window at that point.
I did
if a guy did that to
many
me
years ago, yeah. And I just don't see the point. And it's like we've talked about this also, like punching above your weight and all this kind of thing. Like, what is the point? Like, you are who you are. You're fabulous as you are. Believe in yourself and go and find somebody who wants you, not somebody who wants some version of you. Because if you meet somebody, and even if you keep up the pretense or are able to, or whatever it is, that thing is going to eventually kind of fall, that mask, and then the real you. So why do you want to be with or whatever?
It's because women are so self-conscious.
Yeah, I get that. And some men are pretty fucking nasty. I mean, like, we've done episodes where we've talked about men, and they've said that women are very critical about them. And I do agree with that. But I also think men are extremely critical about women. They're critical about their boobs, about their weight, about their skin, about their this, about their that. And you're like, that's fine if you don't find that person attractive and that's not your jam, and that's completely fine. So just don't say anything and just move on. Or I find men can be unnecessarily nasty sometimes. And like, for example, this has nothing to do with the criticism of the way I look, but the other day I was reversing out of my house, out of the driveway.
Yeah.
And sometimes my street can get quite busy, and I was sort of going slowly anyway, and there were people coming and blah, blah. And I was going slowly, and this man, and I had my window open, he winds down his window and he screams at me, "You fucking shit ass driver.
Shut the fuck up.
You can't drive." And then he cackles. And then I look at him, I just said, "Fuck off, mate." And then I drove off. And I just thought,
he's like behind you. Like, I'm so confused.
so I'm sort of reversing, going that way, and he's there and he's seeing me and he's watching this. And you're like, I don't understand what you're getting out of being so mean.
It's so horrible.
Because the reason I'm going slowly is I can't see anybody coming.
No, yeah, you have a huge car in a fucking city.
And I can't see anybody coming, and I'm trying not to kill anyone.
Yeah.
Really, I think that's pretty reasonable as a citizen. And you think, it's not like he said bitch or anything like that. He just said,
I'd kill him.
You're a fucking shite driver. And he just went like this. And then he cackled. And I just thought, okay, fine. I mean, I don't give a shit. But
yeah,
it's like, what is the point of that? How pointless is your life?
Because people are just so much more mean to strangers than they would
Exactly.
be with anyone else.
But it's the same with social media. It's the same with comments.
Yes.
Like, people have to vent something.
Yes.
And they have to say something. Like, what if I'd been a little old lady? Would he have shouted at me?
This guy just seems like a motherfucking dick.
Yeah, but there are many of them. And there are many motherfucking bitches.
Oh, motherfucking bitches.
But I'm just saying, what is the anger, the rage? Maybe that's why people can't meet. Maybe they're just so angry.
No, that's true. I think people are just, they're way too serious. They're too in their emotions. They're overthinking. Because there's also the thing with cell phones, and I get fucking annoyed with like my family members and like even my work, where it's like, even if I have a cell phone and I have email on my phone and I have all these things that you're able to contact me, it does not mean I'm available.
Yeah, I agree.
And if someone who you're dating doesn't reply within like, even I would say 12 hours, 24 hours, you're just dating them. They're not your boyfriend yet or whatever. That's fucking reasonable. That's 100. Like, you shouldn't be. They shouldn't be talking to you all. Like, that's crazy to me. If someone was like talking to me constantly 24/7, that would fucking annoy me.
Yeah.
Just like, have a life. And if you're getting mad about this, then you don't have a fucking life. And then I'm not going to be attracted to you anyways.
I think, that the fact that you can, that's a very good point. The fact you can access people. And I find it
constantly.
Like, you've got all the social media stuff. Then I personally like work stuff. I've got email. You've obviously got WhatsApp. I've got all sorts of apps for kind of platforms where you can contact, for business stuff. I mean, it's just endless. Endless. And all sorts of platforms where,
and it's overwhelming, and it's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. And it's like, if someone's like trying to talk to me about something like literally I don't care about on that point, because it's like we're just starting to date, and it's just like kind of meaningless. Like at that moment, it's just like, I can't deal with this right now. I will reply if I want to reply.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it doesn't mean that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bad way to think about it. But
no, I mean, I think there is an element of a generational thing. I think there's a difference between Gen Xers and millennials and the way we deal with messaging. I think that's because we didn't grow up with it as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. You should have the right to not contact people. Like, you should not have to go, you should be able to do it. It's your convenience, the bloody messaging thing. But I mean, I think like friends and, children and family maybe is one thing, whatever your relationship is. But yeah, if you're not actually in a relationship and you're not even sort of dating, it shouldn't be such a huge thing.
Anyways, okay, so we're gonna take a little hot break for our hot little sponsor here before we get into what's the tea. And if you go to vibrator.com, that's VIBR8, like the number TOR.com, and you use the code SMT15, that's a capital SMT 15, like Share My Truth 15, you guys get 15% off everything in store. And, you can get something for yourself, you can get something for your mom, you can get something for your best friend. It's almost the holiday season. You might as well get something for everyone in your holiday wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to need something to stuff their stocking, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if you guys go to vibrator.com, that's VIBR8, like the number, TOR.com, use capital SMT 15% off everything in store. Mel, do you want to add anything? It's pretty exciting.
I think it's fabulous. You've done a great job.
Thank you so much. Let us know what you guys think. Tell us what you get. You guys can also talk to us about it at Share My Truth Pod.
Yeah.
On the socials. Mel.
Yeah.
Mel, what's the tea today?
Well, the tea is we really want to share.
Yes. We always want to share
some of our comments and some of the emails and stuff.
You guys are such little psychos. We love you.
So, I mean, in the continuing tradition, I just want to mention this because it's just so funny. It's keeping me alive at the moment. Is the amount of dick pics that are being sent to us, but not by men. No. By women.
Yeah, ladies, we also don't want to see these dick pics.
I don't want the penis.
Ladies. Oh my God, Mel showed me this email.
You're going to give me a fucking heart attack.
I screamed. Did I not scream today, Mel? I screamed.
I read these emails, and especially the emails from women, are always like little heart, little stars, little nice, and they're always really nice, and they're very nice about us, and it's really wonderful. And then you get to the end of it because they're sharing.
Put their dick pic in there. And we're like, ladies, we appreciate you sharing your trauma with us. Yeah. We also don't want to have this trauma, though.
Yeah, I don't really need the pic because they're burned and etched in my memory.
No, they literally. But this one was like the balls were held. It was like balls, dick. You're just fucking hanging out. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a lot.
What a picture.
But I do feel like, holy shit. This man sent this to this woman. And just like, stop. Just stop doing this. But anyway, the thing that is just really funny is the dick pics that we're getting now are from women.
Yeah.
In protest.
It is
dick pics that are being sent to them.
You know what I was thinking about it, though?
But it is amusing.
Yeah, you guys can, ladies, you sent us the dick pics. It's
keep
fine.
Sending it.
Yeah, who fucking cares? But you know what I was also thinking?
Yeah.
And I was a little like, is that what if it's the men pretending to be the women sending us their dick pics so that they know that we're going to talk about it and look at them?
That had occurred to me too.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Because the world's full of nutcases.
Fucking nuts.
But anyway, whatever it is, I'm seeing an awful lot of penises in my life today. And that's, So then the other thing this brings me on to is our YouTube messages. But sometimes, like comments, sometimes our
messages. Gen X-y.
It's very Gen X-y.
Oh, so cute.
I'll put my flashlight on in a minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway.
What are your faves for now?
Well, one today, which wasn't YouTube, but I did think that was actually quite funny, was, well, I don't know who this is. I just think it's funny. He said, well, I'm assuming it's a he.
On which video? Or
it's one of our, videos about an episode about soulmates. They said, my soulmate was abducted by aliens, is my guess.
So he doesn't have a soulmate and they've been abducted.
9 years waiting. So what's that mean exactly?
So he's saying that they've been abducted by aliens and he's never had a soulmate. That's why.
Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying.
Okay. Well, that was a favorite. I think that's quite funny. I mean, fair enough.
Sorry, I think you just have to look harder.
I think I did. So I did get this, and I thought there's a woman commenting that the sexless marriages I know about are the men who no longer want sex. The women still want a sexual relationship and miss the intimacy. The men have rejected their wives' advances. And I applaud this woman. Thank you very much.
So sorry, what is she saying?
Oh my God, I have to read it again.
No.
So no, I'm joking. This was a comment about sex marriage on one of our videos.
Yes.
And a lot of the comments we got were obviously from men because, so often when you talk about marriage, it's always men going, "Oh, my mom." That was weird.
Yikes.
My wife doesn't put out anymore. It's extremely fucked up. My wife doesn't put out anymore. You might have to edit that out.
Sorry, no, I'm not going to. That's hilarious.
my wife doesn't want to put out anymore.
Yeah.
And it's always the men complaining about women.
Yes.
And so we got endless comments about this. And sometimes it gets quite nasty about women and what's the point of women? And
we don't put out.
It's
fuck
all
off.
really charming. And then this woman said, that the sexist marriages that she knows about are the men who no longer want sex.
Yeah.
The women still want a sexual relationship and miss the intimacy. The men have rejected the wife's advances. And I think that's very true.
Yeah, because men can't get it up and they're embarrassed about it.
100%. There's also the horrible thing that I think a lot of men fall in love with a woman at 25, the way she looks, and whatever happens to her, whether she still looks hot, she looks different, and she's not their ideal or thing or whatever the fuck it is. The fact that he isn't either is apparently irrelevant.
Right, of course.
And he isn't interested in her. So that's one thing. Then there's your penis obviously not working. And then the other thing is just, men, we talk about libido in women. It happens to men. It's very common in men, sort of late 40s, 50s. It's very common. What the fuck do you think Viagra was invented for?
Yep.
I mean, that's more about getting up. But you know what I mean? You have to actually have desire for that to work.
Yeah.
But, we always think of it from a male-centric point of view, sexist marriage, and it's not fair. It's not true. Lots and lots of women do want intimacy, love, touch, sex, the whole thing, and they don't get it. And she was making that point. I thought, good for you. You're right.
No, I love that.
But she was the only person who said that.
Right.
I mean, obviously it's YouTube, so it's the domain
Mostly
of men.
But
it is true. And I think the more we talk about this, I understand there's rage from men, but there's also rage from women. And
of course, women have huge rage.
And just understand that, I keep seeing all these comments. I'm like, it's a two-way street, everyone. The reason men are single and can't date, the women can't, it's a two-way street. Why do we not understanding this? And
people just don't want to understand it.
No, I don't think they do.
You know what I mean? It's they could.
And so
they could be more empathetic as a whole society, but we just choose not to be.
Yeah, so they just get nasty.
Yeah.
Really nasty. And, there are some comments that are really nasty.
We have to read those.
No, this is lovely. I remember when my wife started randomly, it's been a long day, talking about her friends that were in sexist marriages and quite frankly, just not interested at all anymore in anything sex related. I mean, I would like to just add in there, perhaps not with you. Just not,
Thank you.
I'll take this moment to state that women should wonder why massage parlors, prostitution, and strip clubs exist and thrive.
Okay. Actually, I have a weird, because I've been with other men who are out of marriages now. So the massage parlors, and I don't think women understand this. That's why I'm bringing it up. Massage parlors, obviously the ones that give you a happy ending, are the first thing that a man will do to cheat on his wife.
Yes, I know.
But I know you know that. But I think a lot of women are so unaware that this is actually happening. But it's the first thing because they don't have to touch the woman, right? So it doesn't feel like it's cheating in some way. It's they're just getting off by having another person there and kind of getting them off.
Yeah.
But it's not
it's easy to do.
Yes.
Excuse me. And often these places are in, sort of a pseudo ordinary place. They just nobody's gonna know you've gone there unless somebody's following you. So it's pretty easy to get away with. But 100%. I mean, let's drill down here
because strippers are different. Everyone goes to the fucking strippers. I would never call that oh, I need to go to the strippers because I need to fucking see a woman. I feel like it's massage parlors where there's actually something going down. You're going there for a purpose, and the purpose is to get off.
100%. I think strip clubs is also a really puritanical, it's quite a North American thing. I don't care.
Right.
I know when men are younger, they go with their buddy. I don't care. They're not. I mean, I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't think it's a huge thing.
No, I agree.
But I think some women get very wound up on it.
100%.
And I do think it's kind of a very North American thing as well. But the massage parlors, 100%. If you are doing that, there are women that don't know that it is a thing.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
And you're like, yeah, it's a fucking thing. He's not going for a sports massage.
But sometimes he is. I'm not saying every single man that goes for a massage.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
You could be. You could be.
He might be going for a sports massage, but if he's going maybe like every week, then we gotta. But also, men usually don't tell their wives they're going for a massage. They're gonna go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? I can never see a man being like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a massage. And they're like, that's fucking weird. You're doing that every fucking week. It's like, no, I'm gonna go see the boys. I'm gonna go fucking do something else. Or lying to you for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
no one's being honest about that.
Well, if they said it, the thing, if it was a medical thing, the chances are often the wife has got involved and has actually probably even made the appointment.
Exactly.
So if he says I'm going for a massage,
exactly, you think
it'd be like,
it's fucking weird.
If my husband said that to me, which I have to make all his appointments. Like I make his dental appointments, his hair appointments, every appointment. Otherwise, he'd never go anywhere.
Right.
He'd walk around like a vagabond. So it would be very weird.
Right.
I would make the appointment. I mean, maybe that's a little extreme, but I think a lot of wives do that.
Right.
So it'd be like, you're going where? But I know plenty of men who go to massage
really
parlors.
Do they tell you about it?
Not me, but I know. Yeah,
right.
I know they do it. And they think it's fine. They, in their head, think it's fine. Their wives have no idea.
Look, you have to get your rocks off somehow. And I'm not excusing it for any means. But I am saying if it's better than cheating on your wife.
It is.
And it's like something... Like, maybe your wives don't want to fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know men who their wives do fuck them and they still do it.
Yeah, men are just fucked.
And so
I mean, like,
the thing that is a little bit weird is, like, you're not having sex with the person. I mean, I don't know because I've never been to a massage parlor.
I think you can touch them.
Can you?
I think it depends on the parlor.
Maybe it depends on the parlor in the country.
I think it depends on the parlor. Some of them are real prostitutes and some of them are...
Of course, there's going to be...
You know, right?
And let's face it, you probably start entry level.
Then
you
handies.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of men who go for a hand job. Let's call it what it is.
For sure.
And you do think to yourself, why?
It just feels like it's just woman's touch.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what I think. I mean, I've never been to one.
I mean...
But I can only assume that's what something of this is.
Or it's something their wife doesn't do, or they take that image with this person who isn't their wife, because they don't want to... I think in many cases, men who go to massage parlors don't want to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the best way of not actually cheating, but kind of having interaction with a woman. And then they have that image in their mind. And then they can do what they want with that image in their mind. But do you see what I mean? They're not actually it is not going in the hole.
It's not going in the hole.
It's not.
No holes have been used in this.
Exactly. So technically, it's okay. But it isn't. Because I think whatever you're doing, if your wife doesn't know you're doing it, or
if
your
you're
partner,
lying, you're sort of cheating.
You're cheating. I mean, because, you could go and have your bits waxed. And a woman's got to touch your ding dong. But if your wife knows you're going to have your bits waxed, then that's fine.
Wow, I can't believe men wax their bits. Straight men?
Oh my God, yeah, it's a whole thing. Landscaping, yeah. Some wives
waxing. Wow, that must hurt men so much.
Waxing, sugaring, lasering. Some men have it lasered.
You know what? You're right.
It's a huge thing. And then some wives obviously do it. Please don't shave your men. They really should be seeing a professional. Just like to say that.
For the balls?
The whole thing.
Really?
You shouldn't shave. It's very itchy for men.
Wax, though. It's
so
yes,
you
painful.
Can. No, sugaring's the best. Get it sugared.
I've had sugaring and it hurts a fucking shit.
It's the best thing. But you need to go and see somebody. But you need to go and see somebody who is deals with men and straight men, straight men and gay men, but is very professional. And there are tons of people, but it's very common. It's very common.
No, of course it is.
And
just imagine it must hurt.
But the point is, I mean, having a friggin' labia
No, it
ripped-
does, obviously, but you get used to it. But I
Well,
just
you
can't
do.
imagine of the balls getting used to that. They're so sensitive down there, and they're just so
These women know
they're
what to
so
do.
like, such thin skin.
Mm.
You know. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
there are many
Anyways,
professionals out there.
wow,
But
we've
the
been talking
point
for way
is,
too long.
but
Yes.
if your wife knows you're doing it, that's fine. But massage parlors are a whole different thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's the tea. The tea
The
was.
tea has been said.
Have I said enough? Did we want more? Hang on.
Give us one more.
Some of these are so long. That's the problem.
Oh, it's fine. Don't have long ones.
Okay, so this is really charming.
Okay. Tell me.
This is about sexless marriage, and I'm assuming this is a man because of his handle, but whatever. For women, sex is a tool to be used. So it starts well. That's really nice.
Great.
Its main reason is reproduction. And once they have the kids, they want it no longer. No. Want it's no longer needed. Second, it's a method of control to attract a partner. It's charming. But once you have kids, you have locked the man down anyway, so sex is only needed to be used to reinforce control when he gets pushed too far by the crazy she's putting him through. Anyway, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But
obviously, this man is on
women
drugs.
occasionally like sex. And this is the nice bit. Sure, women occasionally like sex for pleasure, but mostly for gratification of their ego. I mean, I could go on. I would just like to say to this person and any man who thinks that, you are wrong.
This is a man who's never made a woman come in his entire fucking life.
I mean, yeah.
That has to be. Like, the amount of fun sex I've had with men who are open and kind and just like
100%.
love to have sex and love to make a woman come, that is like so incredible. And the amount of sex I've had with fucking really bad at sex men who just like no fucking idea.
100%.
And 100% they think this way.
And men who care about you and care about like how you're feeling in that situation, not necessarily love and everything, but they care. They and it's amazing, and it's astonishing to me that men do not understand, or these particular men, that you are going to have better sex if you treat the woman well. And it's a whole experience, right? And who are these women? I would like to know. Somebody tell me, who are these women who you're just marrying for kids, who are just marrying you for kids, who don't want sex anymore? That is just not true.
Yeah.
I've said this many times, and I've said this in comments, I've said this in all sorts of things, is that yes, sex ebbs and flows for women and for men. And particularly for women, because we have hormones, because we have children, because we have periods, because we have the menopause, all the fucking above. Yes, it may go through cycles. But if you honestly think that women don't want sex or pleasure, why do you think the vibrator industry is a billion-dollar industry? You can buy a vibrator anywhere. You can't walk a few streets in Toronto without Shoppers Drug Mart, sort of Anthropology. You get one in Indigo, for God's sake. Why do you think they are there? I mean, please, everyone.
Yeah, but men just don't fucking care about women's pleasure. I think that's the underlying thing of this. Not all men.
Not men, some men. But I think
most men. Can I say most men? It is.
Well, you can if that's what you think. Yeah. I think the men,
my experience, that's what it is.
Don't understand and don't get it 100%. But I think it goes for the same for women who think there are all these men out there who are raging psychopaths. That is not all men. There are lots of lovely.
Of course, there are lots of lovely men. I know most men are lovely.
And there are lots
a lot of the
women.
guys who I've hooked up with, though, do not know anything about fucking and making a woman come.
Well, that's probably why they're,
But that's why a lot of them think this way.
I know. And I feel bad for them. I really do.
Guys, just be open to pleasure for your woman.
Be open, be nice, be kind. I don't know who all these women you're meeting who just want you for money and want you for like
these
kids.
Men who are saying you want for money. They don't even have any money.
Well, yeah, but
let's be honest.
But I don't know who all these women are. There are lots of women out there who are not like that, and I want you to go and find those women, not these women.
Oh my god!
And I'd like the women to find nice men.
Oh my
god! We need to have
some kind of system, some dating app system where you guys are all gonna fucking meet and be angry at each other and angry fuck.
There are nice men. My husband's a very nice man.
Yes,
he treats me very well.
Yeah.
But I'm very nice to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a psychotic
You guys are partners.
nutcase.
People don't meet. Well, anyways, it's a whole other thing.
It's another episode. Psychotic nutcases.
It's possible.
Anyway, I think that's it.
I think that's it now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, love you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Yes. Until next time.
Goodbye, darlings.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website, sharingmytruth.com, to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.